Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the E38 podcast. Tonight, I got myself, Hector, also known as CN6. And with me, I got Jazzy.
What up?
And Hav.
Yo.
And tonight, guys, we are going to be reviewing Ballerina in the world of John Wick. But before we do, guys, I'd like to remind you that you guys can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Make sure you follow our socials at E38 Podcast or go to E38visionpodcast.com. You're going to see all of our links through there. Also, make sure you join the Discord. Join the Discord, guys. Come chat with us about video games, movies, TV shows, anything like that. And if you are listening on Spotify and Apple, leave us a rating. That will help us out a lot. And yeah, Ballerina. Let's get into it.
We're finally here, man. We finally got to Ballerina. This movie was supposed to come out last year. It got delayed. I don't know if you guys remember that.
No, I don't.
I don't remember that. But I'm sure we talked about it.
Yeah, it got delayed. It got delayed because it went through reshoots. Now, I don't know if you guys heard this, but apparently they brought in Chad Chatelski. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He's the guy who has directed all the John Wick movies, 1 through 4. Right? And supposedly, he was brought in to work on Ballerina for the reshoots to, quote, have more action scenes. So I don't know how true that is. I knew that reshoots happened and that he was attached to it.
Yeah.
But that was for the supposed reason. I felt that was needed to be mentioned before we actually start reviewing it, because now this is the finished product. But yeah, man, so Ballerina from the world of John Wick, it is a spin-off film in the John Wick universe, which, by the way, doesn't even have a name. Doesn't have it's not called the John Wick universe or the Continental.
Man, it don't need one.
Yeah,
the Continental verse or something like that, you know.
It's just
It's in
they
the
always
John Wick
they always
world.
hit it. Yeah, they always hit it with
Something
in the world of John
like
Wick.
the
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson Batman. I don't know if you guys know, it's called the Epic Crime Saga.
Oh, it is?
That's what it's called.
I did
That's
not
what
know
Matt
that.
Reeves and James Gunn call it.
I had no
the
idea.
Epic Crime Saga, like the Batman Epic Crime Saga. So like that's why I'm surprised it doesn't have like an official name.
All right, what would
the
be a name?
Continental. I would say the Continental universe would make the most sense, because the Continental
What about
has one in every place in the world.
Excommunicado universe.
The TCU, the Continental Universe.
The TCU.
Because you're including the
Yeah, the TCU.
What about JWU?
JW
John Wick
the
Universe.
John Wick universe. I don't know.
I don't know.
How
We'll-
about
we'll have to-
the
we'll-
SSU.
The what?
Scene 6 Universe.
Yeah, it's just my universe.
This was your name.
There's no reason. Like, I'm not even in
That's
it, but it's mine.
Yo.
There's no. It's my universe, but I'm not in it.
Yeah. All right, we'll continue.
Yeah, so Ballerina, this is a spin-off movie. This is the second spin-off we had, because the first one was technically the Continental TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I don't know.
It was pretty good.
How long ago was that?
That
2 years
was-
ago, right?
that might have been in 20,
23?
21.
No.
21 or 20? No, 22.
21. We haven't started the pod, bro.
We did? I thought we did. No. My bad.
We started the pod in 2022.
Oh, shit. I got my numbers mixed up.
Yeah,
Then
bro.
23 then.
Yeah, it had to have been 23, I feel like.
Yeah.
2023?
23.
And I believe we all gave those 10s, right?
I think so.
Yeah, we gave that
So,
shit. Yeah.
I don't know
think we
about
gave it
you.
a
So, I mean, we only ever reviewed John Wick 4, which I remember giving a 10 to.
Yeah,
And
we
it was
all did.
Okay, we all did. I just wanted
Yeah, I
to
think so.
confirm. We all watched the Continental spin-off TV show, and
Mm-hmm.
we gave that a 10, all of us. So now, and obviously we haven't reviewed it or rated it, but we also hold John Wick's 1 through 3 to a high standard. The movies are fire, too.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously at this point now, the John Wick universe, the movies, has now built a reputation like, oh shit, like everything they come out with is bangers. But now Ballerina comes into the picture, which we've seen that they can do spinoffs right with the Continental TV show. But now we're concentrating on a different protagonist, a different badass. This time it's a female. And this time it's the ballerina girl who we catch a quick glimpse of in the third John Wick movie, Parabellum.
Oh,
And it's the scene where John Wick is on the run because he's been declared excommunicado, and he goes to that movie theater where he meets the headmaster. And it's the woman that we see in this movie. She goes and helps John Wick. And there's a quick shot of a girl doing ballerina on the stage with a crazy tattoo on her back.
Yeah.
Well, in Ballerina, we focus on that ballerina girl, Eve. And that is the character. She's played by Ana de Armas, which, by the way, was a recast because in
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
third
mention
movie,
that.
in the third movie, it was actually a ballerina. Like, it was actually a professional ballet dancer.
Yeah.
And obviously, for the movie, they had to hire an actress, so they got
was-
Ana de Armas.
I was gonna say her name. Ana de Armas.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Armas. That seems like what the weapons or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I've never seen
Have of weapons or something.
Have the Armas.
Yeah, have the weapon.
Have the weapon.
I don't know, man.
And that's like
cool
my
last
Baba
name.
Yaga name.
Yeah,
You could become a
He's a
Have the
the
Armas.
So what is that? The weapon,
A weapon.
or just weapons? I don't know.
Yeah.
Some shit.
You are the weapon.
Yeah.
Like whoa.
That's pretty cool. No, that's fire. That's fire. No, we got a pen. We have a pen. That is cool. I like that. That's cool.
Oh
That's a
my
cool name.
gosh.
That's a cool real life name.
So I was going to say I've never seen the movie, but I've never seen any of the 007 movies. I know it's criminal, right? But a few years ago we had No Time to Die, which was the final James Bond movie with Daniel Craig as James
Yeah, I
Bond.
saw that one.
And that movie was like the breakout role for Ana de Armas. She was the female badass that was in that movie. I heard she did really well. And that was like her breakout role, dude. And I remember seeing her appear in more and more movies that I haven't seen. Personally, I can't think of. This is probably the first movie I'm seeing her act
Lead.
in and be in anything, and she's the lead role.
Yeah, probably.
Coming
yeah.
from the John Wick universe. So she has there's some shoes to fill here, bro. Now, she's not here to replace John Wick. She's not going to be the next face of the universe, but because this is now her spinoff, her story, and this is focused on her. And timeline-wise, because I know everyone's seen the trailers, I personally don't agree that the trailers should have shown John Wick, personally. But he is in this movie. We've seen from the trailers. And so to give you guys a timeline sense, Ballerina takes place between John Wick 3 Parabellum and John Wick 4. So it takes place in between. That's why this dude's up and about and active. Just so that you guys know what's going down. For a timeline sense. That being said, let's actually get into it. So there's a lot to cover, I feel like. There's a few things that I want to bring up to make points. Because I feel like they play into the rating. I think I'm already set on a rating.
I think I am too.
Yeah, same
I
here.
am too. And the rating I'm going to give, I need to back it up with my reasons. So
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
a few
shit.
things that I do want to bring up. I want to make sure that I don't forget, but we'll get the obvious one out of the way. Ana de Armas, as a leading role, she plays Eve. She is the badass, the star of the picture. What did you guys think of her role? What did you think about her as as the actress?
I'm being completely honest with you. I think she did it. I mean, she did a great job.
Yeah,
Like-
she did it.
She did it.
Like,
I mean, she acted.
She like that's all I require.
like it's hard for me to like kind of judge it because like whenever I see something in the John Wick world, especially like a movie like this, right? I just think I'm like, damn, I just want more John Wick. So I'm looking at it through like an unfair lens. I feel like, but
Yeah.
I can't say like, oh no, she does a very good job carrying the film. In my opinion, I feel like there are some scenes though where like I can tell like some of the acting's maybe not there.
Some of the what?
They're like the acting's not there. Like it's kind of like not like I don't buy it. But it's only scenes like quick moments. But other than that, like it was like phenomenal.
Okay.
But there were a few scenes where I was like, I felt like you were forcing that.
Do you
line right
remember?
there.
That way we could talk about them in the
No,
spoiler section.
I just remember. I don't know when it was in the movie. I just remember one time she was talking to someone and she said something. I think I forgot what character it was, but she was like trying to make a point, and I forgot the line she said, but it felt like she just forced it out.
What confused me is like there were some moments where she had an accent, but then she didn't. Right?
Really?
Yeah. There's some moments where I caught like she had like an accent,
That's how she talks.
Yeah,
but then there was moments where like
She didn't have
Yeah.
one? Really?
that's the only thing I could really like that I realized.
Okay.
Did you catch that, Mario? Or
I
no?
didn't pick that up.
no, there were some times where I caught
Really?
the accent sometimes.
Right, like when there's a
Yeah.
scene where she's talking, and then you could hear an accent.
It's because
but then
her
it's-
natural voice, or natural like when she speaks
That's
English.
actually how she speaks.
Yeah, obviously it's very strong. It's
okay.
very
Oh,
strong.
really?
That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's how she actually, like you'll see it, and if you ever see it like a.
No,
clip of
yeah,
her or
I
some
just
shit
thought it
like
was part of the character, and I'm like, okay, but I was like, all right, that's fine, but then it's not consistent. Like then it's gone. It's like, oh,
that. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I saw that. Picked up on that.
all right.
But no, it's like I don't want to make it seem like I'm like, oh, I didn't buy her as like a lead role in this universe. No, she can definitely lead a movie. She can definitely lead a in this franchise. I'm just saying, I'm coming from a perspective where I'm just like, I'm just so used to seeing John Wick. So I'm just like, I have like this like thing where I'm like, she's cool and I like her.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to see John Wick, and obviously he is in this movie, and obviously I don't want to go too in details about it.
I was gonna say,
but it's
I
like,
have something to say about John Wick that kind of supports my claim that I said back in John Wick 4.
Okay.
And y'all were like roasting me and shit about it.
I
'Cause
don't know.
Oh, I already know what it is. I still don't buy it, by the way.
I
know,
don't remember.
No,
I don't remember.
No,
So we'll
I
get
know
there.
what it is.
Are you spoilers? Is it spoilers?
Not really, because if you've seen the John Wick movies,
Well, we can't assume people have seen it.
It's well, if you're watching, if people are listening to this, that means they've seen John Wick.
Yeah,
movies.
but like, what if like someone who's
Maybe
never
not.
seen it? You know what I mean? That's just the rule of thumb. I feel like.
Okay, it's the way he speaks.
remember? You don't remember this? He's like, oh, he's.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
I think he remembers the.
I remember Hector thought that it was for the role. I'm like, no, dude, Keanu talks like that. Like if it does interviews, he talks like that.
I thought it was a role, bro.
No, you thought it was like. You thought he
I
was
said it. Can I say it then? Is it spoilers or whatever?
Okay, I bet.
Or no?
I don't know.
Because it's just the way he speaks. Like John Wick has his character overall, the way he speaks.
Okay.
So in John Wick 4, I made a comment. I said that I thought that John Wick had like a speech impediment, like a
Yes. You see, I remember that.
yeah. I thought that was like the role or whatever. And no one. I guess I'm alone, man. Please, somebody listening to this fucking pod, like help, hello. I'm alone. But in this movie, when obviously it's not spoiler because he's in the trailer, right? He's in here and he speaks a bit, and when he does, I'm like, come on, nobody sees that? Like the way he's speaking, it's like, you have to get out of here. Like,
It's funny.
like please, come on. Like, did you guys not see it a little bit?
I guess
I do see it a little bit, but I'm just like, oh
No. I 100% see it. It's not that
Okay.
I don't see it.
Okay.
But that's how Keanu talks.
Okay,
so
see-
I don't pay attention to it. I'm just
Okay.
like, oh, that's how he talks.
So at the time, when I'm watching these movies, obviously, Hav knows more about the actors and stuff more than me.
Yeah.
So I'm watching these movies, and it's the way he speaks. I'm like, oh shit, like he has like a speech impediment. Like, oh, okay, cool, whatever.
Talks a certain way.
Yeah, like he talks a certain way. Okay, cool, whatever. And I bring it up in John Wick 4, and this is at the time when we had Everardo on.
Yes.
Like an old friend. He's still a friend. I say old friend, but back in the day when he was in there. I brought it up, and y'all were clowning on me. And it's like, what? Come on, like you guys don't see. Like at least that's how I thought. I thought his character, like for whatever reason, because he barely talks. He's like on some Master Chief shit. He barely talks, but when he talks, it's like, oh shit, like like there's a presence when he talks, bro.
Yeah.
With Master Chief, it's badass, like oh shit, robotic, deep voice, badass. His is like, oh shit, like bro, I can see why bro barely talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, in this movie when he did speak, I feel like it was more obvious, Mario. Didn't it? Like it's clearly different the way he speaks, man. Or do you still not see it? Okay, Hav sees it, but he ignores it.
I would say what's it called? I see what you're talking about, but the way I always interpret it, I was like, oh, that's just his fucking character or something.
No,
like,
it's not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But he's saying it's how he talks. I'm like, oh, then just how he talks.
And I've been used to like watching interviews.
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
That's just how he talks, dude.
No, yeah, and I thought it was part of his character. That's why I thought like, oh, he was. What at the time I said something, and it was I meant to say like he had a speech impediment. I forgot what I said.
I think I know what you said.
What would I say?
No, it's like
Did I say he was like mentally ill or some shit? No, not mentally ill, but like
yeah, it's the other adjective or some shit.
I forgot.
Like he was special.
Go watch. Yeah, I was like,
That's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. I'm like, no, bro. That's why I disagree.
That's why we were clowning you.
Yeah,
Now I
we're
remember.
like,
all right,
bro,
listen,
he's not special.
Okay, but then I changed it. I meant like he had like a
speech
like
impediment.
like a speech issue.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Anyway, go check that out, guys. Go check out the John Wick 4 review.
That was a good
But anyway, I feel like in this scene, in this movie when he spoke, I felt like I was like,
You wanted to stand up in the movie theater and be like, yo.
guys,
Yo,
are we not hearing this right now? Guys, let us know in the comments, please. On Spotify,
funny,
you can leave
bro.
comments and stuff on YouTube if you're listening. Leave us a comments, man. What do you guys think of that? I don't know. That's just what I thought. Anyway, going back to Ballerina's character, Mario. My bad. I was cutting you off.
No, you're good, bro. I basically said what I wanted to say.
So he said that while he was enjoying the movie, he wanted to see more John Wick. So he said he was watching the movie through unfair eyes. Now, my question is, Mario, why don't you think you felt that way watching The Continental? Or Is what you're saying? Does it play a factor into your rating? If it doesn't, then it explains.
No, I was about to say, I wouldn't say it plays a factor, but it's just one of those things where it was always on my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, and with the Continental show, it's because I knew it was a prequel. I'm
Years,
like, where's
decades
before?
prequel.
You know, I'm just like, oh, bro, it's way before. Like, he's not gonna show up. Like, why do I care if he shows up? Here, it's just like, damn, I know John Wick's alive. It's like,
And he's
he's here.
there.
I think the way I took it was, I think I was the opposite. I think, this is a spoiler.
I have something to say about what he said.
Well, okay, the movie's Ballerina, so I'm expecting Ballerina. We saw John Wick in the trailer, but I was already expecting him to not be in it a lot. Like, I thought it was like, oh, hey, and then it's like, oh shit, it's John Wick, and that's it. That's it. That's how I went into the movie like with that expectation.
I did too.
I kind of wish that he just wasn't rather not be in it. You know what I mean? Like, let her carry her own movie. She don't need John Wick. If that makes sense.
Oh, so you
Okay.
Like, I feel
I'm confused now because you said you wanted to see more of him, but now you're saying honestly just get rid of
because
him.
it's more like he's alive in this timeline.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So did you want
and,
it?
And he saw him.
Yeah.
And he's obviously in the scenes with Ana de Armas, like in some scenes, not the whole movie. He's not a supporting actor.
Yeah.
He's in some scenes here and there. It's
But it's like they put those scenes in there
It's
just to get people in the seats.
Okay, but you're saying that you wanted to see him more, but then just now you just said you don't like just get him,
because
get rid of
like
him
the
completely.
scenes with John Wick outside of one, or no,
Were
two,
kinda useless or
two
whatever?
useless outside of two, were like felt useless. They felt like fan service.
Okay.
okay.
They felt like fan service. Whereas I'm just like,
All right.
I was like, I feel like these were the reshoots right here.
Okay. W.
I feel like these
W
are the
because we're
reshoots.
cousins. I've thought the exact same shit. There are some scenes with John Wick that I'm like, were these the reshoots?
Interesting.
I feel like they were.
And they bring down the movie. Like, I'm with you. I don't know. I'm like surprisingly low on this movie.
You're
really?
what?
Yeah.
What do you say?
He's low on.
Like,
this
I don't
movie.
think it like I think I'm gonna give the lowest rating.
We'll see, man.
Interesting. Okay.
We'll see.
Well, okay, I wanted to save it as like the last thing we talked about before we gave our ratings, but I guess we're on the topic of John Wick. We might as well transition to that. I have some things to say about the John Wick as a character and like him being in this movie. When I saw him in the trailer, at first I was like, first of all, they should not have shown this. This is clearly spoilers.
Yeah.
This is clearly spoilers, and it would have hit different if we saw him for the first time in the movie.
Yep.
Because at a point when someone mentions, "Hey, I know someone," we know from watching the trailer who they're referring to. And one, I didn't think they should have shown it in the trailer. Two, involving Keanu Reeves as John Wick to reprise the role in this movie, what was supposed to be a spin-off movie and a standalone of a different character, could be a slippery slope. Because by introducing a beloved character in an existing IP franchise, right, into a spin-offs character, you run the line of, he has a small role. He's not the main character. He's not even a supporting character. He's a very small role. But does the actor's shadow cast too big a shadow on the character and the rest of the movie? You run the line of what Mario's going through, which is, I know he's here and active. I want to see more of him. Because the goat's in the room, bro. You kind of run that line. Whereas if you would have used him maybe a little more sparingly, or not shown him in the trailer, or not have him in the movie at all, you wouldn't have run into that issue. Kind of like what Mario said about the Continental. Oh, well, this was a prequel that takes place decades before John Wick. I knew he wouldn't appear. So if it wasn't in your head, then would that be a percolating thought? And would that factor into your ratings and your overall thoughts of the movie? Me personally, I think John Wick in this movie was fire and a W, but there were some things where I was like, he didn't have to be in it. Some scenes, in the spoiler section, I'll go into more detail. There are some scenes in this movie where I'm like, yeah, that's okay. I would be okay if he was in, if they used him in the movie like this. There are other scenes where I'm like, you're now treading the line of using him a little too much, that fans are not going to be like, well, can we have like one shot fight scene with him, like with people, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, bro, this is supposed to be the Eve show. Ballerina show.
Yeah, that's what
And now the Baba Yaga walks in, and it's like, well, now I want that. It's like going to a restaurant and you're eating salad, and you're like, this is pretty good salad. And then that waiter walks by with the steak, and you smell it, and you're like, well, it's in the room now. I want it. And it's like, you can't. And it's like, well, that's not the point. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? So for me, I think John Wick was fire in this movie, a W. I will always take John Wick. But they do tread that line. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of factors into my rating, the rating that I'm going to give this movie.
Oh, shit. Maybe he's going to be the highest one then.
I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I'm just saying. But yes, John Wick in this movie
let me adjust my
was fire, but also a bit of a concern. And the way they used him, I felt like there was a certain way that they used him, and I was kind of like, eh. But yeah, that's without giving out spoilers, that's as much as I can say.
Yeah, we'll dive deeper in this.
Okay, well, there is one more thing I can say. And it's not spoilers, but I already confirmed that Ballerina the movie, in a timeline sense, takes place between John Wick 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Now, John Wick being in this movie and being active in Eve's world and her mission, which I'll get to in like when we break down the synopsis. That should have been the first thing I did, my bad. Doesn't make sense in a timeline sense. I don't know if I'm the only one. Because in John Wick 3, if you guys remember, it ends with Winston, the owner of the Continental, shooting him off the roof. But it was planned because Winston knew John Wick would survive the fall and that he was not actually dead. Now, from that's when the garbage people pick him up on a shopping cart, right? And they wheel him to Lawrence Fishburne's character, right? The dude with the doves, right? The birds.
You know what's funny?
What?
You know what's funny? It's like we said, oh, no spoilers about the other movies, but Javi just did it right now.
That's true.
Dude, I was like, can I say, like, no spoilers, guys. Like, you never know. People, this might be their first one. Yeah. And Javi just did it.
Well, I didn't want to give spoilers for John Wick 4 necessarily because it takes place before.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give the spoilers at least for that.
All right, I got you.
You know what I mean? The obvious spoilers.
Okay.
But and they're like he basically it kind of like confirms that like John Wick is gonna go after the high table. Then John Wick 4 starts with John Wick completely healed. Like he's been training, I guess. We don't know how much time has passed from John Wick 3 and 4, but he's clearly healed. He's not wounded. All his wounds have been healed. He's been training to go after the high table.
Yeah.
So in between that, you mean to tell me while John Wick has been on his quest to take down the high table, to get out officially from this world, from his organization a second time now, if you think about it, he somehow had time to get involved with Eve's story? I don't buy that. That was the one thing that I'm like, I don't buy that. I don't buy
I was kind of the same
And it just
way.
leans more towards like, oh, maybe this was the reshoots.
Maybe. I can't remember if the news of the reshoots came before or after that first trailer. Because the trailer showed John Wick.
Oh, okay.
Now, if it's before, then you know what? Maybe. But yeah, that's where I'm like, I'm trying to think about it. And I'm literally, bro, as I'm watching the movie, you guys weren't doing this. I'm locked in. I was watching the movie. I'm like listening for a piece of dialogue that might give
try to
something
connect the
out
movies?
that might. But like they never mentioned. Like I guess while
that's
John Wick was,
funny.
I guess while John Wick was trying to heal up and was trying to train to take down the high table, he said, "You know what? Yeah, let me go get with Eve's world and what's going on over there." For some reason, I'm on my own quest because John Wick 4 needs to happen. But you know what? Let me go get involved with what's going on the other side of the world. And it's like, huh?
Well, like he didn't. Well, he didn't. He was under rules though.
What do you mean?
He didn't do it in his free will.
Nah.
It was like he was. Spoiler.
You see,
It was under rules, bro. It was under rules.
No, technically not.
Then
I want to go into it, but it's spoilers. But I have a counter. I have a counter to that. I don't think so. Now, you may prove me wrong.
Yeah, we'll get to it then.
But I have I have a counter to that because I just can't get into it because
we'll
of spoilers for John Wick 4, which I don't want to spoil. John Wick 4 because it's like the last chapter of John Wick, but even though we're getting a John Wick 5. Regardless, I'll get into that. But I know what you're saying, but there's something that's not clicking, bro. And that's another reason this kind of ties back. Was including John Wick in this movie a good thing or a bad thing? I think, me personally, it's both. Because there's one scene that I feel like he was fire in. I'm like, you should have kept him with there. Everything else, around that scene alone, I feel like was too much. So I don't know. That's just me. I don't think.
I think I'm gonna play devil's advocate, man, because it's like you can't win in this scenario. Because there's been moments, bro, or like there's been times where we've seen a movie where it's like a spin-off, and then we say, "Oh man, I wanted to see this person more." They just show up for a scene, bro, and that's it. They misled us. You know what I mean? We've talked about shit like that before, but now it's like, okay, we get what we want, and now it's like, oh, bro, come on, bro, it's too much. I promise you, if it was just that one scene, it would have been like, yo, what the fuck, bro? They misled us in the trailer. It's just like it's one sentence and that was it, bro. Dang, that's a negative, bro. That's gonna go with my rating.
I don't know about
We've
that.
talked about that before.
Only because if the trailer showed that scene, and then you go see the movie, and it's the scene from the trailer, but longer, because trailers like to cut shit up. Yeah. I would have probably expected it. Like, it makes sense.
But I think
it was probably just
I know for a fact we talked about it before.
But me, I would have preferred, like, okay, let's pretend, right? If John Wick was just in that one scene in Ballerina, then they should not have shown that in the trailer. And that's where it would be a negative, because the trailer showed too much. The trailer would have exposed the one and only scene John Wick would have been in, and it would have hit more if he wasn't shown in the trailer and you see it for the first time. Then yes, that would be a negative. Not so much that you didn't show him more, but rather like if this was just his only scene, why would the trailer spoil that? That would take account into my rating. I do see that. Probably that.
But what else? I don't know. I thought John Wick was cool. I didn't feel like what Mario's feeling like, oh, like I wanted to see, like, yeah, sure, I wanted to see him more, but I didn't really, like, I didn't have that connection as to what Mario was saying, like, oh, I stopped caring about Eve and, like, her story and stuff.
No, I didn't stop caring about her story.
What I mean? Well, you would have, like, what'd you say earlier? You said, repeat what you said again?
No,
because at first, he confused me, bro, because at first you're like, no, this is, I want to see more of him, but then you said I don't want to see him.
No,
at
I said
all.
it made me want to see more of him. To the point where like I still enjoyed Eve, but like the amount of like basically the whole point was like, and the whole argument I was making, having John Wick in this film, the way they used him in this film, it made me feel like they didn't have any belief in Eve the character.
I kind of felt that way too.
It's like. Like, might as well not include him at all. If I have that one scene in the beginning, that's cool. I feel like that would have been perfect, low key. Just have that. That shit. I feel like that gives homage to John Wick to the point where I'm like, bet. Now have this character carry the fucking movie.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It just made me feel like they didn't believe in the character. Which is like bullshit to me because the show didn't have him and that show was fire. And I think this movie could have been fire, but there are weaknesses. Like, I feel those reshoots. I can't say where they are, but I can tell moments where I think this is it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's just my whole point. The one thing I want to take away is it made me feel like they didn't believe in Ballerina Eve. If that makes sense. Because you have John Wick, who obviously people are going to sit down, which is why they put him in the fucking trailer. Because I agree with Hav. Motherfucker should not have been in the trailer. Like, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, wait, what? Like, why would they put that in there?
That's true, yeah.
It just makes me feel like, hey man, if we put him in there, they're for sure we're gonna have butts in the seat.
Right.
We're gonna have tickets.
Yeah.
Because the title's not enough.
Ballerina.
From the world of John Wick. Well, no, that's part of the title. From the world of John Wick. That's what the movie's called. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina.
Yeah.
That's what the movie's called. So, like, if the title wasn't enough, they had to put him in the trailer. And it's like, what? Like, I agree. Yeah. I'm with Mario on this one.
Yeah, the trailer part, yeah, I agree. But I don't know. I think John Wick
the overall story with Eve, I think is still good.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's like the scenes that we got of John Wick, I feel just take away time from her movie. Even though I enjoyed them. I'm not saying those scenes were bad, but it's like I'm like you're taking away time from what I think should be Eve's spotlight.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, okay. I have some stuff to add, but it'll be spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
we're trending we're pretty close.
So yeah, we'll just wait.
Yeah, we'll wait it out. Well, I mean, fuck it. When we get to the spoiler section, that'll be the first thing we discuss.
Yeah.
That'll be the first thing because I want to hear what we all thought. Okay, the next obvious. We got Ballerina, the actress. We have John Wick.
I think Mario just said his piece on Ballerina. I don't think we said what we thought about her.
I said, really?
I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember. I could have sworn I did. I could have sworn I said she did good.
Then I
And
don't
granted-
think so. I don't think so.
no.
I don't think so. No.
It was just Mario. That
Yeah, I think
said,
it was
really,
just
when
me.
Because I
didn't say that.
mentioned I've never seen her in a leading role up until
Okay,
now.
no, you did mention that, but I don't think you were talking about her. What your thoughts on her character?
Yeah, her
I think you
acting.
were giving like a summary about something else.
About her, yeah.
Oh, so who wants to go? You and me.
You go.
All right. Well, I agree with Mario. I thought she did a great job. This is the only role I've seen her in the first time I'm seeing her, and I thought she did a really good job. She's a great actress, and even though I had not seen No Time to Die, James Bond.
I actually have seen that one.
No, the last James Bond movie was Skyfall. I think I saw
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
007. That was years ago. Though.
Yeah, that was a long ass time ago.
I want to watch those movies, dude. I've heard they're good. But yeah, I thought she did a really good job. I thought I bought her as a character, like an assassin in this world. I would be interested to see more of her. I mean, obviously, like it sets up for sequels and stuff like that. So, I mean, I would like to see where her character goes because I mean, I thought she did a really good job acting wise and everything. Although I do feel like at some point there are. I feel like we're doing the revenge thing again. The storyline. Like, in the universe, like, that's just, like, the John Wick thing is fucking revenge. Because, like, even in the Continental, like, someone experiences loss. And that's the reason we're going after the Continental, especially Mel Gibson's character, if you remember. So it's just like, damn, this is the theme now with John Wick, is that every single spinoff and movie, it's a revenge. So even though I bought the story was very interesting and the actress did a good job. I feel like we're doing the revenge thing again because that's kind of how that's how this whole universe started with the first John Wick movie. It was revenge, and it kind of like that's like vengeance was a thing that just kind of carried through the John Wick movies, and now the spinoff. So it's kind of like, that's not bad. I'm not like over it. It's not like fatigue, but it's just like they love to play this revenge thing a lot, You know what I mean? So. That's my thoughts on the character. What did you think?
Well, if actress wise, I thought she did great. I believed most of it. I do agree with Mario. There are some scenes where I don't know. It was just different and not consistent, especially with like her accent disappearing and coming and going. I don't know. That was more prominent in the beginning of the movie, like in the beginning area when we actually get her like. When she's fully there, but overall, I thought she did great. I'm gonna be real. And then in terms of, I mean, since we're already talking about the story, you broke down the story. I was gonna say that. that the main plot in the story, if I'm gonna be quite frank, was kind of just generic. You know, we've seen it before.
It's
you
true.
know, we've seen it before, so I wasn't like, oh, this is a super cool, unique thing. No, if anything, we're just there to see the fucking action shit. You know, which we'll talk about that in a bit. But her story and like, I liked it, but I can't say it was like, dude, this is like 10 out of 10 because it's like, okay, I've seen this before. Like we got this before already, you know. But I like her as a character, especially like her. If anything, I guess like her motive as well. Even though we've seen it before, her motive, I believe it. It's like, all right, cool, that makes sense. And then the character development that we see with her character. All as well, I really do like, especially when John Wick comes into the scene. That one scene, I'm sure we all agree. It was like, you know what, that's fire. That's that should be there. Which I think it makes sense for her character and the way she's going about it. So overall, yeah, I thought it was great. But if we're gonna talk about the main like plot story stuff, I thought it was cool, like another one.
Another.
Another one. So I guess let's transition to like the action sequences, man, because that's what John Wick is about, man.
I mean, it's there.
It's a staple. It's a
there,
staple
man.
for the universe.
Yeah,
It's there.
If we lived in an alternate universe where we rated movies based on action, this is an 11 out of 10. I loved the fucking action. I was in it, bro. All the fighting. It's all the action you come to expect from this universe, dude. The hand-to-hand, the gunfights, the improvisational, using the environment around you and stuff like that, dude. It's all there. As far as the reshoots, I don't know if some of these action scenes were actually reshoots, based on like that what that one report from last year said. I don't know if it is or if the reshoots were something else, but regardless what it was, man, I thought the action was really, really good in this movie.
yeah.
So I thought it was there, and I mean that's really all I could say. I mean, it's bloody. The hits are fire. The gun fights are just as entertaining, dude. Like, and every single, John Wick movie tends to like try to do like a one up like from the last movie. I feel like by introducing like a certain weapon, or there's a certain fight that they use or whatever. This movie does that, where it uses quite a few different weapons that I don't think I've ever seen John Wick use or anything like that. No. So I'm just like interesting. I like the inclusion of that. So I thought the action was fire. It's there. It's what's,
and that's what I was like hoping for. I'm like, okay, it's a word from John Wick. John Wick is known for the action sequences. I hope it's there, and it was there. And I do agree with you. Every single movie they try to bring up something that's like unique and different. And I want to say towards the end, they actually did that, and I thought it was fun. I was like, yo, this is actually pretty cool. And there's something else that I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, like there's a bunch of elements like from the other John Wick movies that's in this movie.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked that up.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which I don't know. I guess it does maybe prove like your guys' point. What you guys are saying. It's like maybe they're just relying too much on John Wick. So I don't know. I just made that point for you guys. What do you think about that, Hav? Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just all very familiar.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those things where it's like if you're doing not a new IP, but like a new
concept, new idea,
new
story.
idea with new character, new everything. You have to kind of have to switch it up a little bit, man. Like we like John Wick because that was his thing. You want to make her your own thing.
Yeah.
Make shit unique to her. If that makes sense.
And we'll get into it in the spoiler section. But yeah, I've noticed that there are a lot of elements from the John Wick movies that we see here.
Yeah. Now, I do want to bring another thing up because it is going to play a factor in my rating. And that is that it kind of relates to the John Wick thing, but also something else that happens in the movie. This movie is a revenge quest. I mean, I know I haven't given a synopsis for the movie yet, and we're already deep into the pod. But honestly, guys, if you saw the trailer, what the trailer tells you is the synopsis. And that is that Eve's father gets murdered, and she's on a revenge quest after the guy who got him killed. That is like exactly how the trailer goes down is what the movie's about, right? However, and this kind of ties back with the John Wick thing we mentioned earlier, at certain points, not through the whole movie, but at certain points, feels like the movie is not super focused on this plot. You know what I mean? For me, it's like, okay, cool, Eve's on this revenge quest after someone who killed her dad. But now we're bringing up John Wick and like he's getting into this shit, and it's like, okay, now that's a side plot involving John Wick. Okay, I guess. And then there's this other side plot that is not shown in the trailer, but involves a child. And I felt like this was also kind of thrown into the movie and doesn't play a huge part, but it's brought up quite a few times, and it's like, at points, I'm like, okay, at points the movie is starting to feel unfocused. Either commit to the storyline and like fuck the side quests. As far as I'm concerned, like this is like, even though one could argue that John Wick somewhat had side quests in his movies, especially 4. There's one big side quest that he takes in the movie. It's all in part of getting to the same end goal.
Yeah.
So it kind of still played a factor. Here, it's like these side plots could have been out of the movie and the movie would have felt much more focused. And I feel like by introducing these other side plots into the movie, one intervenes with Eve's story and it just doesn't feel focused and organized. And I just feel like there's too much going on in the movie. And unfortunately, that also played a part in my rating. Because I'm like, there's a lot of stuff going on and it doesn't really have to do with anything. You know what I mean? And I kind of want to like, tying back to what we said, like, oh, she's on a revenge quest. Damn, John Wick universe loves doing this revenge shit. Like what Hector said, it's generic. We've seen it before. One of the side plots that's involved in this movie, and I don't want to go into spoilers, I'm just going to say it involves a kidnapping. We know what we're talking about. In spoiler section, I'll go into it, but we know what I'm talking about, right? I feel like that's something I've never seen from this universe. What if, rather than doing the revenge quest thing again, well, let's try to see something new, a different concept for this character. What if it was a kidnapping? What if that side plot was the driving factor of the movie? That's different. It's not a revenge quest.
Yeah.
That's something new that the Continental Universe has not brought us before. Why not have that be the driving factor rather than, oh, vengeance is what's fueling you? Like, we've seen that done before in 4 John Wick movies and a spin-off TV show. You're the 6th project in the franchise, and we're doing it again. I feel like if the side plot involving the kidnapping was the main driving force, hey, that's new and unique for this universe. And now add that with all the action that you come to expect from a John Wick universe movie or project. I feel like this would have banged a lot more. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
No, that definitely would have helped. Because the fact that you're not reusing a plot point already that's been used 5 other times, immediately it's already a benefit. You just got to pray that it's done well.
Yeah, it's true.
Which, I mean, given their track record, I would assume so.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you agree what I said earlier about other plot points interweaving with the story and the movie not feeling focused?
Yeah.
Did you guys feel that way? Okay, so it's not just me. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Especially with, you brought up a kid.
Yes.
I think more so with that. It's like,
yes,
we got a lot of that, and it's like nothing really came of it.
Yes,
I know.
I agree.
It was just brought up and then just never brought up again.
Yeah,
like once it was brought up, it's like, all right, bye bye.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I just wish the story was a bit more focused. Like some of these side plots, like.
And then there was like a plot twist in like near the end, not near the end,
that
but like
also.
Where I was like, all right, that didn't really affect me. If it's supposed to make me feel
also
something,
kind of led to nothing. And it's kind of like, what do we keep doing here? Like I don't understand what we're doing.
Like, who do you think you are? Like,
they don't even know what they think you are.
Sam Raimi. I'm just saying
that's the new meme. Yeah, they're not gonna know what that means unless they saw the news podcast.
Even when I'm in, I'm out.
When I'm out, I'm in.
There you go. That's it the wrong way.
Fuck. That's John Wick, dude. Even when I'm out, I'm in.
That's
like,
facts.
Clearly, bro.
Facts.
Clearly, they keep using you and shit. They can't fucking stand on their own 2 feet.
That's true.
Oh my god. Okay, so then you guys felt the same way. Okay, so we talked about Ana de Armas, the story, the action, the use of John Wick, the plot being unfocused. Is there anything else that we want to mention in the spoiler-free section? Because I feel like I've mentioned everything I needed to mention. I think I got all my thoughts.
I will say,
and I'll flesh it out in the spoiler section.
I feel like the visuals in John Wick are a very underrated thing in the movies. In this movie, there's good visuals, but not as good as John Wick 4. Well, I feel like John Wick 4, part of the reason why I give that bitch a 10 was like some of the visuals cinematography was insane.
Bro, it's up there.
And then in here, Batman. I'm not even lying. And then in here in Ballerina, I'm not saying it's bad or anything like, like it's just normal, boring shots. No, like there's some cool shots, but it's not up there with 4. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So I would say the
4 had a bigger budget.
That's true.
That is true.
But also, I mean, it just comes down to like different team.
Yeah.
Could just be a different cinematographer, man. Could be someone else that completely different.
I want to bring that up, but
and also you got a different director, so
that's true.
That's true.
Yeah. But other than that, what just scores then?
Well, did we mention, or do you guys want to
I mentioned everything.
Else?
That was the last thing I wanted to mention.
Okay.
I think that's I think that might be everything. Yeah.
Okay. Then I guess we'll get into our ratings and stuff.
I'm thinking still my score, man.
Okay. I'll go first because I know action movies are up my alley, so I guess I'll be the first one to go. I do believe that Ballerina was a very good time. I had a great time watching this movie. I think it is worth a movie ticket. I do think that the movie is worth Dolby, if you guys are really up for it. If you fuck with the John Wick universe, go right ahead. However, if you decide to save your money and downgrade to a normal ticket, I would not fault you. So it's either or. If you want to go full on out, Dolby, it's Friday night with the boys. I'm going to watch it opening night, or I guess it's not opening night, it's Saturday. Yeah. But you know what I mean. If you can catch it in Dolby, go right ahead. It's from the John Wick universe. I think you're going to have a great time. However, if you're like, you know what, man, it's the first of the month, right? Playboy Cardi. And like you just don't have the money for it, I wouldn't fault you if you go for normal. It's fine, dude.
Yeah.
Don't even trip. I thought I would rewatch this movie again. I would say fucking and rewatch it. I thought it was a great time. I think the movie was great. I think Ana de Armas carried herself very well, and she carried the movie very well. The action is top notch. It is exactly what you come to expect from the John Wick universe. I thought the story was interesting, though it was a story that has been told over and over before, especially in this universe. At some point, the plot seems to be unfocused with some of the side plots that kind of intervene. The use of John Wick was controversial to me because it was good but also bad at the same time. Not bad, but rather a misuse, I guess is a better word. There was a misuse with him, and I'll get more into that in the spoiler section. But overall, I think this movie was a great time. I've had a lot of fun with it, and as much as it pains me, it can't be a 10 for me. Even though
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Even though because
I'm pretty sure we all like felt that way.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not a 10, which
not a
sucks
10.
because John Wick's 3, 4, and the Continental were all 10s for me. I had to really think about what scores I would give John Wick's 1 and 2, but no, it's not a 10. But I still thought it was a good movie, man. I thought it was a good time. So I'm gonna settle for an 8.
I got it right. I originally had you at a 9, but then you said like, "Oh, I actually
Really?
have a few flaws." I was like, you know what? Let me change my shit. Put an A in that bit. I got it right.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so I'm giving it an 8. Who wants to go next?
You good, Hector? Or
Want me to go next?
You go next.
I also, I also want to bring up like another positive thing in this movie as well, because I always do that. I always forget some shit. Like I always think of something in the spoiler section. One thing that I actually did like is we see Eve, like her training and everything. That's cool. I'm sure we've seen it before, right? But something that's more unique here that I appreciated. I'm like, you know what? Thank you. It's about time. And is that they acknowledge that she's a woman, right? And how many times do we like have? I mean, we look at The Last of Us season 2, right? With Bella Ramsey, we're like, bro, like I don't buy this, I don't buy that, right? And in the movie, there's like a scene where they acknowledge that she's a woman. Is like, hey, fight like a woman, do whatever you got to do, because at the end of the day, no matter this guy, like no matter what, he will always be stronger than you. So you're gonna have to learn how to adapt. You set the terms. That scene and the way they acknowledged all of that, I really liked. I'm like, you know what, dude, that's fire. That's because it's true, man. You know, I'm kind of tired of the Hollywood saying, you know what, anyone could do this. Like, nah, bitch. Like, if we're gonna be 100%, she's small as hell and she's skinny and she's lightweight. Of course, she's gonna get, bullied by a couple of dudes. But because in her training and the way her mentor said that, say, hey, you got to cheat. You set the terms. Do whatever you can to win. And then we see some of that when she's fighting. You know, we see her like clawing some dude's eyes out, like playing dirty and doing whatever she can to stay on top, because she is a smaller person and obviously is weaker. And majority of the time will always be weaker than the guys that she's fighting. So anyway, and we see that in action in the movie as well. So I like that part. That's like another positive thing. Like, you know what? I fuck with that. And we see it in action, you know? Because the way she gets out of things, it's kind of unconventional compared to how John Wick kind of gets out of things.
Yeah.
Like John Wick, sometimes he gets overpowered, but then there are scenes where he's out there overpowering them, like when it's head on. Versus in Ballerina, she's constantly
Elusive?
How do I explain it? She's a little bit more nimble and like she does things that you traditionally wouldn't do to get out of certain things. I don't know how to explain.
Unorthodox?
This dude's just
He just said unusual
It's like the
things.
second time he throws a word at you.
like, I don't know, man.
Like a thesaurus.
Yeah, he has a dictionary out. Like,
Well, that's what he seems like he's describing.
I mean, I guess. So anyway, I like that part of as well, and then the action as well. But in terms of my rating, I mean, I agree with everyone, with what all of you guys said. Obviously, it's not a 10. I was debating, man, I was debating on my score, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It was tough, man. It's tough. But overall, dude, for what it is, I mean, those flaws that we had, sure, they're visible, but I still had a great time, dude. I still thought it was really fun. I do think it's worth a movie ticket. I do think it's if you like, I agree with Hop. If you fuck with John Wick, see this in Dolby, fuck it. If not, normal price is fine. What I get, I'll get a 4K Blu-ray of this. So I don't even know what that means, but 4K Blu-ray.
I don't even know what that means.
Like I always get fucked. I always get confused, man. Like I always get confused, bro. Like where that lands on the scale. You know what I mean? Like where does that even land?
I don't even know what that means. I just say shit.
You know what I'm laughing? Is it because he wanted to say I always get fucked up by like the ratings or whatever the fuck?
Yeah,
but he like cut himself off and he said I always get fucked.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Pause.
You heard it too?
Because I'm thinking, remember the whole Steelbook sealed or not sealed?
Yeah.
Do I have the seal factor in the other ones or not?
I feel like if you're getting steelbook sealed, bro. If
We're gonna DVD unsealed.
No,
right? You know what I mean? Like,
no, like actually serious though. Like if you're saying steelbook sealed, that has to be like for like not a 10 only. I'm being
that's
so
10.
bad.
Yeah, that's
Right.
But if it's steelbook but not sealed,
That's a
then
9.
that's a 9.
But what he's saying is, if he were to give a movie, this is a streaming service sealed.
no.
Like, what does that mean?
No, I'm talking about like if it's a Blu-ray or a 4K Blu-ray. Do I include the seal or
exactly.
not sealed?
No,
Yeah.
I say don't include
No,
it.
because you're gonna
No,
open
right?
it.
No
The
way.
sealed shit's only for 9 and 8s. I mean 9 and 10
For the steelbooks.
Yeah, for the steelbooks.
Not 4K Blu-ray,
Okay.
because it's not a
Yeah.
collectible. It's a Bluray. Like
Blu-ray,
they sell those
yeah.
anywhere. But
You're
a
right.
steelbook
You're right.
is a
It's
collectible.
Yeah,
That's
you're right.
limited
You're right.
time.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. All right, now we got that cleared up.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I think I'd get a 4K Blu-ray, man. At the end of the day, I understand its flaws, but there's a lot of shit in here that I did like, and it was a fun time. So yeah, I'm agree with Howard, man. I'm gonna give this an 8.
All right, bet.
I thought it was great.
Okay, I got you right too then. But
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. You
All
know,
right.
especially the action and shit. Like it's there. It's there, dude. It's there.
So I definitely share the sentiment in terms of the critiques I have, but the reason why I think I'm rating it lower than both of you guys is because the ultimate.
So he already gave it away lower.
Yeah, I'm no surprise. Cat's out of the bag. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I think it's good. It's because I don't know.
Wow.
It's because I agree. I have all the same critiques I have, but the reason why it all bugs me is you put all that together. You put all them together. It just feels. It makes me feel like they had no belief in this character.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, like y'all did y'all not see kind of? I know it's a different team, but like y'all can do it. Like y'all can make a 10 out of 10 show that doesn't involve him. Or if you just have him in for a little bit, you can do it. I just saw a full season's worth of it where I give a whole show 10 out of 10 that had no one, or that didn't have Keanu Reeves in it. And doing all this shit, the reshoots, the side plot, the use of John Wick, the feeling that you have no belief in this character, in the story, or the reuse of a story. It just makes me feel like, yo, did you like not believe anything that doesn't have John Wick in it, or like what? And that just bugged me because I'm like, you can do it, bro. You already have so many spinoffs happening in this fucking universe. They can't all feel like this. Not John Wick can't appear in every single one of them, or else I'm gonna.
You see, no, go ahead. No, I agree. Yeah,
It's because like
I know what
John
you're
Wick can't appear in every single one of them, dude. Because
Yeah.
if you do, then at some point, even though it might start to bug me. It didn't bug me here. It only bugged me because it just reaffirmed the belief that I didn't believe in the character. It's gonna bug me in terms of like, bro, I'm not trying to see John Wick in every single project that doesn't directly involve him.
I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, you guys can create something special here. And I feel like you kind of somewhat fucked it up here. Like, you're starting off a little bit rough. You started off perfect with Continental. Then you have this, and it's like, it felt like you took a step back.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's not a bad movie. I'm not saying this is a bad movie.
of course not.
The action's great. I know the Artemis is amazing. The visuals, I think I said, are still good there. The writing's still there. Everything, I like the characters. It's still there. What you watch John Wick for, or like these movies for, is there. And doing exceptionally well, especially the fighting, bro. This fighting is what carried this movie. But like, I need to feel like how I support John Wick is how I want to support Ballerina. For every character that comes out of this world. That's how I want to feel about every character. And I didn't feel this way coming out of Ballerina. I was more like, that's a good time. Like you guys say, it's a good time. I don't want to make it feel like a good time. I want to be like, yo, that was badass. I fucking love her. This character's badass. I just sadly didn't come out that way. And that's why I gave it a 7.
Yeah, I was stuck on a 7 too. I was stuck on a 7 or 8, bro. I ain't gonna lie, for sure. And you know, it's one of those. And I hate this, man, because it's one of those movies that like. It's one of those movies that it's gonna be like a long leg situation. I might change my rating later in the future. I don't know, or I might stick with it. It's just I don't know. It's because I really liked it, but then there are those things that we talked about. It's like, you know, I don't know. I think what maybe pushed it to an 8 for me a bit
Was the action?
Yeah, man.
I know. I was debating
I
it
think-
too, but I'm just like, no,
I
bro.
think, you know what I mean? I think that's what because, and we get a lot of it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I was
So-
surprised because John Wick 4 of all the John Wick movies has the most action and then the other movies. But that bitch is almost 3 hours long. It's about the same length as Matt Reeves' Batman, right? This movie's nowhere near that long, but I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of action they were able to put in to the movie for its runtime. And it didn't even feel long. That's another thing, the pacing. I mean, it didn't really feel long for me. That was a good runtime.
No, good runtime, yeah.
So I was
good
just like,
runtime.
interesting. I was pleasantly surprised with how much action I got given the runtime.
Absolutely.
So I agree. Okay.
So I think that's what like maybe carried it a little bit for me for an 8. I'm like, you know what, man?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe
that's
I'll
just
change
what really
my mind
bugged me, man. It's
later.
like
I
I
don't
feel like they had no belief in the character. It's what it makes me feel.
I gotcha.
Right.
That's why it bugs me. I'm just like, bro, y'all have a universe where like every side character could be its own unique fucking thing.
Right.
Like those, like the kids, man, they could grow up and be like, hey, man, guess what?
Like, what if
Female John Wick right there.
what if there's a spin-off
fucking know.
of another assassin that's part of the Continental Organization, High Table shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's an assassin, and it's not a revenge quest, but like maybe he's
It's an ambition.
Maybe
quest.
he's
like
part
he
of the-
has his goal is to get rid of the high table, and that's his story. And it's three. It's a trilogy, 3 characters type shit.
where he gets rid of the High Table. No, he wants to run the High Table.
Oh yeah, that's even better. That's even better. Actually.
Because as they get rid of,
put
it's
us
like we
in the
kind of already
room.
know the outcome.
Put us in the room right now, bro. We're cousins.
I was good. That's a good idea.
Isn't there another spin-off with that blind guy coming?
It's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming
That'd be
out soon.
fun. Like,
yeah.
let's see, let's
I'm
see,
excited to
like,
see that.
Like if
I
that's
was
a
gonna
revenge
say-
quest, bro, then with the dude. Oh my god.
I was gonna say, what if it would involve a guy and he's like involved with the Yakuza
Yeah, you
or
can do
something
that.
like that?
And it's like the Continental versus the Yakuza.
Yeah, or something, or like
it's like his own quest
a
against the
Yakuza
Yakuza.
style tribe, gang, group, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it. But like it's their own Continental, like like the Continental from that place. They're just
Oh, it's like
moving-
their own like that
be moving
Continental's
crazy.
drama.
Yeah,
I know what you
something
mean.
like
I think
that.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but that would be fire too.
you know.
Yeah.
But like revenge quest. They love that shit. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, we've already gotten this though.
Yeah.
So okay, here's the
Yeah.
thing. Before we get to the spoiler section, Mario brought up a good point. I guess we should ask each other this question. He said that he wants every character MC that he introduced in this universe to be as badass as the way that he feels about John Wick. So that brings up a good question for you and me, Hector. Do we feel that way about Eve?
I mean, I think it's almost unfair.
Well, let me guess. Because of the amount of movies? Yeah. Okay.
Like, this is her first movie, so obviously I wasn't expecting to like, this is my new John Wick. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was already expecting that, like, oh, this is gonna be its own thing, cool. But I don't think anything was gonna top like John Wick.
Well,
the
no,
Boogeyman.
I don't think anything can top
Yeah.
John Wick. But rather, would you hold her in that general
In the same room.
in the same room? Like, you know what? She could hold her own.
I mean-
like if Eve and John Wick were in the same room together
I
fighting
gotcha.
other bad guys, she could hold her own like John Wick can.
I got you. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't like looking for that coming into this movie
Okay.
because I just assumed nothing. Like, nobody could keep up with the Baba Yaga type shit. I was already on that high.
Yeah, I get
and
you.
we already had a lot of movies with them. I think maybe if we see her more or something, you know, maybe she needs some more training. I don't know, but yeah, I wasn't really feeling like that.
Okay.
What about you?
I was gonna say, I mean, I feel like she earned it. I feel like she does for me. I feel like she was a good character. I was like, yeah, you know what? I see her as another like standout character in this universe with her own spinoff. So, and I do with young Winston. I mean, Winston carries a lot more character development because of his prequel, right?
Yeah.
But even like young Winston at his prime, when he was out there fighting people in the Continental, getting the Continental to be his against Mel Gibson, like I buy him as the character. Obviously, John Wick will always be my number one, my goat. But these two characters, I bought them. Ballerina, I bought it. I guess for Mario, it didn't. But that's fine. But I just wanted to ask because he brought up a good point. I was like, that's a good question to ask. So I wanted to get that out of the way.
I guess we'll see, man, if we see her again and stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the non-spoiler section for Ballerina. We're gonna jump into the spoiler section in 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, we're now in the spoiler section for Ballerina from the world of John Wick. Okay, we said we're gonna talk about the usage of John Wick.
Yes.
All right, who wants to go first?
I guess I'll
we
go
can
back to
elaborate
that first scene. Let's say I want to throw a hypothetical out there. Let's say that shot in the trailer of John Wick getting off the train was never in there, right?
Okay.
And let's say that scene never even happened. Let's say the most we ever got out of John Wick was the beginning.
Okay.
We're talking about the trailer or the movie now?
No, not trailer. I'm talking about that shot in the trailer. Say it never happened, like him being involved over there, or whatever. Like I know it fucks up the story at some point, but I'm just trying to give you, like I said, hypothetical.
Right.
Okay.
Right? Let's say the only use of John Wick was when we're with Eve at the Ballerina place. Whatever.
The talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Little
yeah. You know how he gets like, oh, they're walking down the stairs, whatever the fuck, and
Yeah.
we see him.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been like the perfect usage of him.
Really?
I would have
Yeah.
included the
Because you want to
ballerina.
all the that part too. Yeah, I think that was.
How do I
part.
get
I
out
think,
of here?
I think from there, yeah.
Yeah,
Door is unlocked.
yeah. That part was
Yeah,
fine
come on,
too.
bro.
Because
Does nobody see what's being said? Like, come on.
I
Man.
don't know.
I would have included that, Mario.
No, that's fine. That's at the whole beginning
okay,
area.
okay.
That's at the beginning, right? Because you're not only are you giving respect to him because of what's going on around him.
Right.
Everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's Bobby Yaga, bro!" Like, holy, I heard he killed a motherfucker with a pencil, bro. You see that? Bitch? Like, yeah, that guy was my cousin. He was my cousin, bro. Fuck him, but that shit was badass. But either way, my point is like that would have been fine to me. Where I'd be like, bet I'm satisfied. Because that you're paying homage to the character who I hold in high regard, and now you're showcasing this new one. To me, I was like, all right, let her go on an adventure. Bet I'm good. I feel like that would have been like the perfect usage for him in this movie.
I agree.
Right? I know it fucks up the storyline because obviously he appears later, so they would have to figure that out. I'm talking about the action movie.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like that would have been fine because you're giving him his respect.
Yeah.
You now checked it off to satisfy fans like me.
Cameo?
I'm like, yeah, a little cameo. I was like, all right,
cameo.
that's all I needed, bro. Now let me see Ballerina.
Yeah,
Hook me, make me love her, make me support her, and make me what?
If that was it, then yeah, I agree with you.
Then I
would have been fine with it too.
But like, then we get into the scenes where I think we all want to talk about, which is the ones that happen at the end of the film.
when he
where-
shows up.
Yeah,
he's
I
sent over
feel
there.
like his action scene that was one of the reshoots, but I loved it. Or my trip.
The one against her. Or the
No,
one on
the one
tower?
like the one in the tower.
Yeah, I had
That
a
has to be
feeling,
one of the
bro.
reshoots, bro.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I had a feeling. I was like,
Because it feels
bro.
kind of out of place, bro, in terms of the flow of the story.
I mean, I do like when he.
It was
it's
badass.
fire.
Like I liked it. Like genuinely.
I mean, it's fire.
It's like-
I'm going to critique it, but I was like, nah, but it's fire. What you mean?
Like, I love it, but I hate it.
You know what's clean? When John Wick falls to the floor and shoots the guy, and then the camera goes, and then he shoots the guy on the balcony. Like,
Bro,
that's fire, bro.
there's
I don't
this
give a
one-
fuck,
bro,
bro. No, I don't care. I know y'all don't disagree with me. I want John Wick 5. Fuck y'all. I don't care, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If we
I
get
still
3
disagree.
more hours of that shit, I don't give a fuck, bro.
Listen,
I
bro,
don't
no,
give
there
a
was this
fuck.
one scene in that one, right, where he's like shooting someone who's in front of him, and the bullet goes through him, and there's like a guy in the back of the
Yeah.
shot who's like on some stairs, and the bullet hits him, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm like, Hector, do you see that? He's like, yeah, bro. I'm like, holy shit,
That shit was
like, I
crazy.
love it, but I'm just like, this is probably a reshoot.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what
I'm
you
like,
mean.
this is probably one of the reshoots because it kind of came out of nowhere. He like legit before that, he's sniping, saves her life, shoots the light over there, and then I
That's
feel like
cool. I do like that he helped her out because the speaker was like, "Attention, everyone!" Like that's cool.
yeah, but it's one of those
But
things
the
where I'm
fight
just like,
scene, I will agree, I feel like was out of place.
I think it was
felt
just
like
like
a
some
re-
fan service shit.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But it's
just
one of
some
those
fan
things where I'm
service
like,
shit.
I'm at this point, like I kind of just want to see
Just
Eve.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So this is her movie. I feel like you're taking spotlight away from her by giving
think-
us this, albeit amazing scene. I love it, but I'm just like, I love it, but I have to critique it at the same time. And that's why.
Because I was gonna say, like, I could maybe even push it further, but in a sense where it will be, where we extend his presence, where he actually tries to stop Eve, and they have this fight.
yeah,
I could maybe even extend it there. Like, all right, you know what? I'll draw it right there, because I actually did like that scene.
Where he's trying to stop her, like walk
Yeah,
away.
and especially like
He doesn't-
how they portrayed him, where, hey man, I could have killed you 5 times right now.
Yeah, I know.
That's fire.
Yeah,
and
that's
I was
fire,
like,
yeah.
okay, that's badass. I'm glad that
Yeah.
they did it that way.
And it's cool because he doesn't kill her.
no,
Yeah.
He tries to. He keeps giving her chances to leave. Just go. And, then, and he puts another chokehold. Leave, and then
Yeah.
puts another chokehold. Like I'm
Just
like,
lock.
okay, this is cool because. Yeah, John Wick has had a past of being a hitman, an assassin. He's a killer. He's
Yeah.
cold-blooded, but he still has a morale. He's still a person. He understands. She's on a revenge quest, and she probably lost.
and he could relate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like that he's like he sees the pain and that, but he knows the road she's gonna go down.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't want to go down this road, and he gives her chances to leave. That is fire.
And
I will
I'm
admit.
glad that like there wasn't a scene where she got the one up on him. It was like, no, I'm going.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm glad. That
I'm
didn't
glad you brought that up
glad
because
it
a part of me was like,
happen. Is that what's gonna
if
happen
she
here?
wants up him,
Nah, get the fuck.
this isn't him. This is the movie severely nerfing John Wick.
Yeah.
Because we've seen John Wick do crazy fucking shit in
Yeah.
his 4 movies.
Yeah.
And this one chick manages to get the one up on him, even if it's one time. And I don't want to hear the, oh, you're sexist bullshit.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying that the movie,
Baba
the
Yaga,
franchise knows what they're doing and paying a legacy
Yeah, they
character.
are.
They cannot do that to my
They
boy.
know that John Wick always has to be the
Yeah.
number one assassin.
And that's what they displayed here.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like, he could have killed her like 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't. So I did like that scene.
I don't know. That was just...
But for sure, the other scene, the fighting scene, that had to be the reshoot.
It had to be,
reshoot,
bro.
I mean,
Yeah,
Because it kind of feels like out of place. Even though I like it, it just feels
Yeah.
out of place.
Yeah,
like in terms
it
of
is.
how it was flowing, it kind of like, oh, we're getting a random John Wick scene. I was like,
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going crazy. I'm telling Hector, like, yo, you see that? Right? But it's like, and then we cut back to the legit her fight. It's like legit, like a pause in the movie,
Yeah.
in her own movie, just to see it.
Pause in the momentum. The momentum we were going.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about what you said about the counter argument with John Wick being there. Because I said that.
Oh, the rules,
Because I
right?
said, because I said he was sent there,
Right.
Yeah.
and like he was still. Actually,
Are you talking about his the timing thing? That's I think that's what you're talking about.
that is kinda
your
confusing.
critique
Because
of
okay,
how
so
he's there.
I'm gonna lay down the groundwork. So in the movie, Eve is on her way to kill the headmaster, the guy that runs this cult, right? The guy who killed her dad or was responsible for the death of her father. And basically what's going on is that this cult, which I forget the name of, and her home, like the people that she's involved with, where John Wick's from, like the people, they've never interfered with each other, right? They've had a peace between each other for decades, right? And she's breaking this truce between these two groups because she is from that group and she's going after the cult leader of that guy's group, right? Like there's going after the cult leader. And so the guy, the cult leader, actually calls the headmaster, the chick who runs the ballerina place, and tells her, like, you know, her consequences are going to be a result of your consequences. Like whatever she does is going to be, you're going to be held responsible. And the lady says, well, I can probably find someone to take care of it. And we all knew what was coming. Well, as soon as she said that, I was like, okay, that's how he comes in. So you find out that the headmaster actually sent John Wick to stop Eve from killing the cult leader, because her causing all this destruction in the town and everything is causing this fucking peace between these two groups to fucking falter. And you said that John Wick was under the rules, which I'm assuming because they kept saying, like, oh, rules is how we, you know, how, like, they don't abide by the rules we do and this and that, right? So the reason why I don't buy what's going on with John Wick is because the movie takes place between John Wick's 3 and 4. And to me, I don't believe that, I keep forgetting the name. I should probably learn it. The name of the group, right? Like the ballerina, like where Ballerina and John Wick is from, right? The headmaster. I forget the name, but like that was John Wick's family, quote unquote, right? Because I think he was an orphan, but he was taken in as a kid.
Yeah, by them.
He's technically not a part of that family anymore.
Yeah.
Because in John Wick 3, he goes to the theater
For a favor.
Yeah. And she's like, if I do this for you, your ties with this family is completely cut. And he obviously has to agree. And that's why
saw the scene.
Yeah, it's from John Wick 3.
Yeah.
He takes off the shirt and he gets that brand.
Yeah.
And she even says, from here on out, you are no longer part of this family. And then eventually John Wick gets himself back into the family in John Wick 4. This movie takes place before the events of John Wick 4. So why does the headmaster have a say in what John Wick gets to do?
Well, maybe he was in the process of getting in, and maybe it was like one of those things like, hey, one last thing, if you really want to be in this bitch again.
Well, yeah, but that would be a retcon. Because his thing was he wanted to get back into the family, remember? He's like, we better get your ass to Paris. And he's like, or I forget where he had to go, but he had to go get his family brand back. He had to get back into the family to duel the Bill Skarsgård, the Pennywise guy, right? And in order to do that, the girl was like, you're not part of this family, John. Like, sorry. And he has him in that fucking noose, right? And he's like, and then she's like, oh, but I can kill him in a duel. Okay, you want to get back into this family? This guy killed so-and-so, some person, right? You need to kill this guy and bring back a proof of death. That's when John Wick goes to the nightclub, kills the big overweight guy, takes his gold tooth as proof of death, and he brands his forearm, and now he's back into the family. And then from there, he goes out to pursue Bill Skarsgård. So where in the timeline does he make time to take a train to fucking the fucking winter place from Uncharted 2.
Prod.
Oh, okay. Prague.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like Uncharted 2, right? Because like the
Yeah.
winter place that he goes to with Tenzin. Like, where does he find time to book a train and go there? Because the
true.
headmaster sends him out. That's where I'm like, the timeline's getting messy now, and this would not have been an issue if John Wick was not included in the movie more. That's what I meant about John Wick is included in here is a good thing, but a bad thing. Good, because if it would have been that one cameo in the beginning, Mario, what you mentioned, would have been fire.
It fits perfectly.
It fits perfectly, especially because he's like, how do I get out? And it's like, the front door's open. It's like, no, you know what I mean. How do I get out? And it's like, that's totally up to you.
Yep.
Like, this place has no hold of you. You can technically get out whenever you want. Then how come you never got out? I'm working on it. And that's a reference to, John Wick 4, like his whole path, right? Cool.
Yeah.
It's fan service. It's a cameo, W, and that stays with her. I'm not bound to this place. I can leave whenever I want, bet. And now that's in her mind. And that could have just been like, cool, that's her own story.
What if I just look it up, man? Maybe somebody
It's
already.
funny because like that scene, is basically they kind of redo that scene later in the film in the snow scene that you were talking about. Where
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's kind of the same shit,
Right.
It's just later in the film,
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but if that would have been it, that would have been fire. That's good.
Yeah.
But now, because he's included later, in a timeline sense, it's like, it's not making sense. I don't know where John Wick found the time to do this side quest because he's on his own quest.
Yeah.
He's trying to gain his own freedom. And so it's like, why is he doing this favor? Like, what's going on? Now, unless John Wick 5 or a Ballerina sequel, maybe John Wick 5, unless they have to somewhere mention why John Wick did that side
thing for
quest.
them.
Otherwise, right now, it's just kind of like it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, it's just
Yeah.
kind of like a thing that doesn't quite fit.
It's what is it? A continuity error?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it is. Continuity wise, it's like, well, I know where John Wick's doing at the end of 3, leading up to 4, and everything he does in 4. Where did he find time to book a train to Prague and do this side quest?
I know it makes sense because like why is he doing this favor if he's kicked out? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Oh, but he got it after he got back into the family. That's why. Okay, but then if he's into the family, he has his own quest. He's trying to fucking kill the Bill Skarsgård's character. Why would he be like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, let me do this side quest thing. It's like, what, dude? Like, okay.
They just need to explain it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how. I don't know where.
And another thing too, in John Wick 3, and I don't know if maybe I'm looking too much into it. I might be over analyzing. I'm gonna be real. But in John Wick 3, the Japanese assassins.
Okay, I got some info
Okay.
on it. Well, you guys go.
I was gonna say I don't know if you remember, like there was the bald Japanese guy who fights with John Wick a bunch of times. He has those goons with him, the Asian, like those ninja dudes that would come out the shadows. I don't know if you remember in John Wick 3.
I'm trying to remember.
They go to the theater and pay that headmaster a visit, and she puts her hands together, and the dude grabs a katana and like cuts through her hands. Well, in all the scenes that we see of the headmaster in Ballerina, there's no cuts on her hand.
Oh.
So is the movie trying to tell us it happened before that? In which case, the movie still takes place during John Wick 3. Not in between 3 and 4. It's still in 3. Or am I just overanalyzing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Either way, there's some messy shit going on in the timeline.
All right, what's this info then?
Okay, yeah.
Well, first I want to bring up this quote from the director because they asked like, why did John Wick spare Eve?
Oh, okay.
And the director actually like came out and said why. So the director says it comes down to John Wick and what John has gone through in his life and what circumstances he's been he's been put at this point. And there's an understanding of how sometimes this life takes things from you. He was somebody that is having to deal with the consequences of the revenge path that he went on and what he had lost. So it is really him seeing a bit of himself in her and how personal it is and what has been destroyed about her life. So he feels for her in that moment. So it's basically what we said.
Yeah.
So I thought I wanted to bring that up. Cool. Okay, so here, this is basically what I said. Remember how I said earlier, like, what if it's like a favor, whatever the fuck. So this is not confirmed. This is like another speculation, but this person like explains it, whatever. Okay. So it says, because of when Ballerina takes place, John Wick himself is a fugitive. He's a fugitive himself at this time and preparing to fight the high table head on. So he probably thought that doing this favor for the director would grant him some useful goodwill to leverage somewhere down the line. So, but he sees himself in Eve, how she escaped one path and becoming a killer, only to find herself in another, with no one giving her straightforward answers and desperately wanting justice. There is a resonance that is much more poignant.
Yeah.
Than if she and John had just fought and then she escaped. So it's one of those. It's what I said earlier. Maybe at the time it was like, maybe if I do this favor, this one last thing, it'll help me later on. So that's the only explanation, man, I could really think of.
No, exactly. But it's speculation.
Yeah,
I would have liked
it is.
I would have liked for the movie to solidify it.
I got you.
Like, okay, when the headmaster was like,
same.
I think I could call someone who could handle this, right? Maybe we should have gotten a scene where she calls John Wick. He does the hello, like he answers like John Wick, and she tells him like, are you still planning to go after the high table? Well, if you do this one favor for me, and it's like, oh, that's why he gets involved with this shit. But obviously it doesn't work out. She's clearly lying because John Wick 4 still needs to happen. So, but a scene like that maybe would have better explained it, of showing a scene like that. Problem is they don't show anything. She just says, I know someone. Next shot, John Wick's coming out of the train in Prague already. And it's like, okay. So if they would have better explained it, I would have been like, okay, at least they explain it. One little scene of them having a phone call I would have bought it.
Yep.
So I don't know.
But that's just what I thought, It's like, okay, that's the only explanation I could think of, is maybe he's doing a favor because it's going to benefit him or something.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's all speculation. It's not confirmed. The movie didn't really dive deeper into that. So, yeah. What else? Is there something else that
we talked about the John Wick stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the plot twist. That was like,
oh yeah,
let's talk about the
side plots.
Yeah, the side plots.
Well, John Wick being in the movie was one, and we'll get into this one now. Do you want to take it away?
I was gonna talk about the siblings. I don't know if that's what you guys want to start off with.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, well, you were talking about.
And so Eve, this whole time, as she's progressing through the movie, right? There's this one character that keeps popping up that's from this cultist group, right? I forgot her name. I don't remember her name, but she's not like the head honcho. She's like second in command type shit.
Yeah.
Right. And we get near the end of the film, right? And we find out that she is Eve's. What, twin or sister?
Sister.
Older sister, right? And it's supposed to be like this, like very emotional.
Whoa, what the fuck, right?
Emotional scene. But when it happened, I was just kind of like, I kind of don't give a fuck about her though. Like,
yeah, of course.
I'm just like the setup. I feel like every scene that she was in, it was always quick. Like they never gave her any like time for us to actually care about her,
sure,
and her motives or whatever the fuck. Or we never really. I don't know. There was just no connection with Eve or with her to buy this moment of like, oh my god, they're siblings. Like what the fuck to me? And not only that, it was kind of pointless because, like, what 5-10 minutes later, bitch dies, bro. So it's like what the fuck? I'm like, all right, that was a plot twist, but it's meaningless because one, your setup was terrible, and then two. It don't even matter anymore because you killed her off like 5 minutes later. So it's like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah, and it also didn't really bother Eve because, like, I don't know you, bro.
Yeah,
like, sure, you're my sister, but cool. Like, I didn't grow up with you like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and to double down on that, she even said that. Well, we get in the beginning of the movie, we get a flashback where Eve was younger with her dad, and her dad tells her like, "You look so much like your sister." But like she doesn't really react because you could kind of like you at first you don't know why. Then the scene happens when they meet each other in Prague in person as adults for the first time.
Yeah.
And even her sister was like, "You probably don't even remember me. You were too young." And it's like, that's why Eve doesn't know anything about her sister. Even in that flashback, because you have to imagine she's a much older sister. Like she was probably like what 4 or 5 years old when she was a newborn, maybe like an age gap like that or something like that. That's how I took it. So to even double down on that, Eve doesn't even have childhood memories with this sister.
No.
So it doubles down on she doesn't really care about her or has a connection to her. Now, granted, I think it would have been interesting if the movie kept the sister alive.
And they would have done shit together.
Exactly. Yeah. But because, like Mario said, 30 seconds after they reveal, she dies in the grenade explosion, the when they all throw the grenades in the room and it explodes. Even the audience is like, well, I still don't care. What was the point of the plot twist? I thought she was going to play a bigger
I think it
role.
would have been cool if she would have survived and helped her kill the dude, and then if there was a sequel, it's them two.
Yeah.
And then that's where you dive more into the relationship.
Ballerinas.
Oh,
Ballerinas.
Yeah, like she helps him, like, hey, come join my family.
Yeah.
And now she joins like those Russian ballerina chicks.
And I guess a way to actually maybe care about her and maybe their bond is maybe have a moment where, okay, so you know how Eve goes to that goes to the village, right?
Yeah.
Maybe around that time, have her sister figure out like that's my sister, and like at night or some shit, try to like capture her, and then either fighting, and she's like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you, whatever, and then we have like a night or like a scene where they're actually talking and explaining what the fuck happened and shit. And then they both agree, like, yeah, let's do this together the very next day. And then we have those cool scenes with them. And then eventually she dies or whatever. Or she's kept alive for potential sequel or whatever. But I think there should have been scenes like that where there was more closure, more like reminiscing, more bond building. Instead of like, hey, I was just running away. I just killed a bunch of people, and now you're just telling me right now you're my sister. Oh shit, grenade, watch it, and then all that happens like super quick. Mm-hmm. I think that was kind of just useless. It's like, all right, why have that in here? But yeah, I think they missed like an opportunity with that. Yeah, I would say that's one of my negatives for sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we just couldn't mention that because plot twist, spoilers. But we did mention that the movie had side plots that really didn't fit. Speaking of side plots that didn't fit.
Yeah,
the daughter, the chick. Okay, so I knew. Okay,
the dad.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah. Look, bro, I knew Daryl would be in this movie.
I didn't know. I didn't
What?
know.
He was in the trailer. You
I don't remember.
You
Yeah, he
saw
was
that
in the
once,
trailer.
bro.
Yeah, I don't fucking remember, bro, at all.
When you saw him, then how did you react
In the theater?
in the movie?
So at first, when they printed him out, I saw it in the print. I'm like, dude, that looks like Norman Reedus. I'm like, is that Daryl for The Walking Dead, bro? And then it was actually him. I'm like, oh wow. In my head, I'm like, oh wow, this dude's in here. Yeah. But now that I think he was in the trailer, dude. I don't remember, man. I just be seeing shit once and that's it. So I was like, what the fuck? He's in here.
So for me,
with the same hairstyle, bro.
Dude,
just let it go.
Technically, no, he can't because he's contractually he cannot.
You can't cut your hair?
No, because for The Walking Dead, like if there's no such thing as, I guess in the character of Daryl Dixon, he doesn't want to cut his hair. He's always ignored cutting his hair and shaving and stuff. So for the actors to make it believable, they have to sign a contract where they can't alter their facial hair or their real hair or anything like that. The hair department for The Walking Dead at AMC has to do it for continuity reasons for when they film the show. Mm-hmm. So he can't. Like, even if he did, it's kind of like how Henry Cavill couldn't shave the mustache off for Mission Impossible. He was on a contract that he couldn't shave it off because he was doing another movie, so they had to CGI his face. Mm-hmm. It's basically like that. So yeah, he can't cut it off, but he does just looks like Daryl.
Yeah, the way he acts too. Like the way he's holding the shotgun, the way like just he acts, it's Daryl.
Yeah, he made that shotgun look badass, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Every time that shit went off, I was like, "Ooh, that's badass."
Yeah, and even the way he speaks too.
Yeah,
it's just I just see Daryl.
You ever seen his like interviews? He doesn't talk like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's probably just like when the camera's on,
so
like he gets in mode, like Jason Statham.
Yeah,
when the camera's on, like he just gets in his Jason Statham mode. But yeah, so the side plot. So
or John Bernthal too.
That's true,
he's
dude.
like that
you
too.
See, if you watch his episode of Hot Ones, he's not like Shane or the Punisher. Like he's actually like a bro. Like he talks to you like a dude, and it's like, what the fuck?
It's so weird.
And he says the same thing. Like, you know what? Let me tell you something, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It's like he says it, but nice. Funny. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's just how actors be.
Yeah.
But in the movie, so Norman Reedus, I knew he was going to be in the movie. I had a feeling he was going to die because in the trailer, he only had like one quick scene. And like that's the only time you see him. So I'm like, okay, so I'm assuming he's gonna die. But he doesn't. He just has a very small role. Like he just appears in 2 scenes and that's it. In the movie, Eve goes out to seek Norman Reedus because he is a member of this cult. And like I said earlier, she's after the leader of this cult. And she goes to interrogate him, but when she breaks into his hotel room in a Continental, there's a little girl there. And the little girl's like, "Are you here to hurt my daddy?" And she's like, "What?" And then she hears like the gun, and behind her is Norman Reedus with the shotgun. And she's just there to ask him questions, but then eventually these people start bombarding in, which is from the cult.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, and at first you're like, wait, what? Why are they hunting down their own? Like, they're watching Norman Reedus through a sniper scope outside the hotel. There's people in the lobby. Why are they keeping an eye on him? And you find out it's because he's trying to get out. He's trying to pull a John Wick. He's trying to get out of this life. And he's like, I'm doing it for her. And he mentions the daughter. And it's like, in this cult, you're in it by blood. It's like a bloodline thing. You're never out. And I'm trying to get her out of here for her sake. So I'm on the run. They're coming after me. And then there's just a cool action scene fight that happens. That there's a throwdown at the Continental. They start doing business on Continental ground, which is a no-no. That's a thing that's been established. And so at one point, they get the upper hand, right? They get the upper hand on them. And so the cult people overpower them, and they manage to beat them, and they take the little girl as hostage. They take her back to the village at Prague. And Norman Reedus, who knows what happened? He's presumed dead because we see him get shot through the torso, through the lower abdomen, and you just don't see him again. And then later on in the movie, there's a scene with the girl doing a tea party while the cult leader comes and sees her. And I was like, oh, that's right. The girl. I forgot about this chick. And she only appears in that scene. And then later on, she appears when the cult leader wants to leave the village in that SUV, and they have her in the back seat. And then eventually, when Eve finally gets her revenge and kills the cult leader, she, opens the back seat, takes her out of the car, and takes her away. And it's like, she didn't have to do that. Like, her quest was to take out the cult leader guy. She wanted to get her vengeance, and she did. She didn't have to save the girl, but a part of me was like, I get why she did it, right? Because she's not going to leave her.
Yeah.
She wanted to reunite her with her dad, with Norman Reedus, But my thing was like, that was a side plot that didn't have to be in it. Like, Norman Reedus didn't have to be in the movie. The daughter didn't have to be in the movie. And that was what I mentioned earlier. There's a side plot in this movie involving a kidnapping that's unique. Rather than have Eve do the revenge quest, like, why not have her rescue the girl and have that be the movie? Have the same setup where she meets Norman Reedus. Maybe Norman Reedus is a target for the Continental. You know how she collects money for targets? Maybe she's a target, and she goes to shoot him, and also Mandalorian shit. She sees the kid, and it's like, oh, I see what you're trying to do now. I see why there's a bounty on your head. And he's like, I don't want them to take her. But obviously they get the upper hand, and they take her anyways. So her thing is not a revenge quest. I gotta avenge my father. It's, I need to do this guy a solid, because he pointed a gun at me and spared me. Yeah. And she told me his situation. I was also a little girl without her dad who went through some bullshit.
I was gonna say that. I think she just wanted to tie it back to her
story. And it's like, that should have been the story. Saving the girl, the kidnapping, and rescuing her. That should have been it. That's way different from a revenge quest that we've seen in the John Wick universe. So I felt like that would have been better. I would have gotten a 9 or even a 10 out of me, to be honest.
But there's nothing else that came with it. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that significant. Like, that was it. Like, there's nothing. We don't even know why she's so special. Like, why is it that he's so fixated on her? Like, okay, she's there.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's because she's special or because there's anything important about her. I think it's just because, like he said, when you're in this cult, it's bloodline. You're in it no matter what, and no one really leaves. So the reason why they try so hard to get her back is because no one leaves this.
But cult. Remember he was escaping, and he was escaping, but took her with instead of just leaving her with the other children that we saw in the village. You know what I mean? Do you remember that?
No. What do you mean? When Norman Reedus was escaping the Continental?
No, the cult leader.
Oh, I'm thinking something different.
No, when the cult leader was leaving, he was leaving the village.
Right.
He took her with her in the car. I was like, why? So that kind of alludes, is there something special with her? Or
you're
what?
right.
Why not just leave her with the other children?
You're right.
Didn't he say like he's the grandfather?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah.
Yes, Norman
yeah.
Reedus is his son.
Yeah,
the
you're
cult
right.
leader's son.
Yeah.
And that's his. Yes,
that
you're
makes sense.
fucking right.
I forgot about that.
completely
I forgot
about that shit, dude.
Dude, because this whole time I'm like, why is she so important, bro?
Yeah.
But that makes sense. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh my god, Mario, you're clutch, dude. That
Yeah, because
fucking.
remember you said you put
Yeah.
a hit on your own son.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's
yeah.
like,
I
why would you
remember.
do that?
Oh fuck, you're right, Mario. That's why. Okay. Yeah. That makes
Okay.
sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I
I thought you said he was locked
Oh,
in.
and didn't he say like when she grows up, she gets to take my place when
Yeah.
I'm gone?
Uh-huh.
That's that, and yeah, it's all coming back to me now. Yep.
What do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
What do you mean?
You said that you were locked in, that we wouldn't pay attention and shit. Remember? He said
Well,
that.
then, no, but this was a side plot. That doesn't matter. I did not stutter. I did not stutter. He did that to get a laugh out of you. I'm working with children. What the fuck are we doing? Look at him. What the fuck? Hey, but we're on time crunch, right? But I'll let y'all laugh it out. Look at Mario. Look at Mario. What's that one movie?
No, what? No, not Doodle Bob. Not Doodle Bob. Not Doodle Bob. I'm thinking about the guy with Adam Sandler in the movie.
In the movie, Adam said, what movie?
He was like a bus boy at a football game, and he's like,
Yeah, that's a water boy.
Water boy.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah.
What is it? Anyway, go on with your beef real quick. Go ahead.
No, I said it. It was just funny.
That's crazy, Hob. You said we weren't locked in, but he was locked in.
I guess. Yeah. Why fight it when y'all just gonna cut me off and laugh again?
Man, that's funny, man. I forgot about that though, Mario. Yeah.
No, I forgot about it too, but I'm like, no, he said. I remember he said something why it's so important. I'm like, what was it? I know it was
Okay, then is that really a negative then? Because I remember we said there was no point about this child, but it's like
It was a side plot. It
Yeah.
was
Side
still
plot.
a side plot.
Yeah.
Because the main thing is the revenge quest.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
yeah.
That was the main thing.
a side plot that held
if
no
you,
weight,
but
really.
if you
Or
remove
it
the
felt like no
revenge
weight.
quest and you made the kidnapping the main thing, well, then it makes the whole like, well, Norman Reedus is my son and he was on the run, and my granddaughter, I got to take her back, and she's gonna take my place. That would hold much more
I
weight.
got what you're saying.
If that was the main focus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but because it was a side plot.
But
and it
okay,
wasn't
but
the
then
main-
what's in it for? You're just saying about if Eve was just a contract, like it was just a contract that she was
and
doing,
she was
like
after Norman
fulfilling?
Reedus. That's it. But then she gets involved with his situation, like, hey, I'm trying to save her from this world, blah blah blah. Like,
But
you don't
then-
know what it's like to go into this world as a little kid, blah blah blah. And then let's like, I
was
kind
gonna
of do.
I was gonna say like you're gonna have to add something for her to be like, yeah, I'm fully on board with this, instead of saying, bro, I'm just here for a contract. You know what I mean?
That's the kid.
What do you mean?
Isn't that what you? Isn't that what?
No, the contract is Norman Reedus because
Yeah.
the bounty is on his head. Remember, the dad
Yeah.
put a bounty
So like
on him.
what I'm saying is like there has to be something significant for her to ignore the contract of doing her job and be like, you know what, sure, I'll help you.
That's what I'm saying. He explains to her the
Yeah.
reason I have a bounty is because I'm trying to escape the cult.
This kid
Like,
is
why
my
are you trying to
proof.
escape the cult? Because I don't want my daughter to be a part of it.
But at the same time, it's like, what does that have to do with me? Like I'm just here for the
No,
contract.
because then you find out that like he explains his history and he's like, look, this is the cult I was in, and she.
we're still sticking with her story, with like her origin and like the whole scar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I would frame it.
Because then that would
No,
make sense.
I was
yeah.
no,
That's how
I
I would
was
frame
talking about like Norman Reedus. Well, bro, it's not in the movie. I'm saying we have to add dialogue to change the scene or something. Norman Reedus would have to explain like, I don't want her to go down this road. I don't want her to part of this life. Like this is not for her. Like she's just a
Yeah.
little girl, and maybe Ballerina sees herself in this little girl because at one point she
okay.
was a little girl who was trained to be a killer on some Red Room Black Widow shit as a little kid who also had nothing. And it's like, I get it. And like, and there was even that scene where it's like, they even said, that's a cult. For one, that's not a tribe. They're a cult. And they're different from us because we have rules. They don't have rules. They kill whether they like to. They sometimes kill for sport.
Yeah.
Not so much for bounty. They kill for sport. They're ruthless motherfuckers that don't have rules or limits. So we don't involve ourselves with them. You know, it could be like that. Maybe instead of Winston giving her that expedition dump,
Oh, you're a bitch.
It would be Norman Reedus. Like, you don't know, like, the things I've had to do. I don't know these things that I've seen. I don't want her going through that. Yeah, I thought you'd like that. How does it feel being on this end?
Expedition though. Nobody would notice.
Who do you think you are?
Let me put these
think you
definitions. Brody felt like a demon. He's like, yo, I'm gonna put the definition in the comments. I'm aware, man. I'm aware.
But
yeah,
maybe instead of him, it would be Norman Reedus giving her that explanation. And then she would be like, oh, okay, like now I know how the cult works. And it's like, do you want that for her? Like, I don't want that for my daughter. And then she'll be like, and then maybe the conversation with the sister, the whole like, you and I are the same. And no, because I had a choice. They asked me if I wanted to join the Ballerina program, whatever it's called, the name, the family. But I had a choice. Like, no, you didn't. At the end of the day, you don't have a choice. We're the same, you and I. Instead of the sister shit, maybe she has that conversation with Norman Reedus. And it's like, like, where it's like, can you even relate to that? And Ballerina can be like, you know what? Yes, because I was in this, where I'm from, I've been doing this since I was a little girl. But I had a choice. He said, well, she doesn't. I don't want this for her. And she could kind of be like, fuck. And that's what ties with Ballerina with the girl. And then that's when the people bust in through the room. They kidnap her. And it's like, I have to go save her because I don't want that for her either. Now, granted, you would have to change the plot a little bit. Maybe Norman Reedus could play a bigger. Maybe Norman Reedus would have to play a bigger factor in the role. Yeah. Because if he's absent, then if the dad's not involved, then what the fuck? You know what I mean? Maybe he would have to be a little bit more active, supporting role, maybe a little bit or something like that. But it's still her show.
Yeah, they have to write something would have to be in there to be, I think, enough, bro. Like, because what you're describing, I don't know if it's enough to like kill so many people and like risk your life and shit for. You know what I mean? Versus when it's something personal, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we see that with like The Last of Us with Ellie, right? We see that with fucking John Wick. We see that with her in this story. I think with your version, I think there just needs to be put in there more to like make her, you know what? Yeah, this is exactly what I'm gonna do. The stakes are there. I'm gonna risk my life to do this thing. You know? What do you think, Mario, about his version? Or what that?
I'm with you on it, on his version. In the same way, there has to be something else because then with WoW is coming up, the origin's still the same.
Yeah,
which is why
do you think it's enough to be like, you know what? Yeah,
for him?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it overall. Like, do you think it would be enough for her to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go save her. You're right.
No,
I don't know. I think there has to be
50,
something more.
It's 50. It's one of those where like I'm buying it, but barely.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Like, yeah, that's probably what.
But was there anything else that
I'm good.
That you guys maybe like a favorite scene or something? No.
Spoiler wise, I mean,
yeah.
we talked about the side plots, the use of John Wick. Was there anything else?
No.
We try to.
I brought up the plot twist.
Yeah, and how like that was part of the side plot that went nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we mentioned everything. I think we mentioned all of our. It was crazy because the spoiler talk was mainly just reaffirming our issues that we had that we couldn't talk about earlier. Usually we talk about like, bro, my favorite scene in the movie. Like,
that's true.
This is mostly just us like trying to justify our claims.
I mean, the flamethrower scene was awesome.
What?
The flamethrower?
Oh, yeah, the flamethrowers.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that we talked about in the... Yeah, I guess we could talk about that a little bit because we said in the non-spoiler section how they always try to add new shit.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah,
that was cool. I liked how that played out as well. That was fun.
So that was probably one of my favorite ones.
And to be honest, I was expecting... Okay, do you remember the scene where she busts out the water? And they're doing like this shot? I was expecting that we're going to get something like that. But I was expecting... it to be like with the fire shit,
dude. Yeah, same here.
Like with the
two flamethrowers.
The two flamethrowers.
Oh,
that would be a cool shot.
I was like, oh shit, come on, man, let's be real. When someone has the same weapon as you, like, okay, we're gonna get, and they're doing a like a top down shot.
Yeah,
and it's like, all right, we're gonna see this happen. But we didn't see it. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? But then we do get it with the water, which I thought was pretty cool as well.
Yeah.
But and then should we talk about how it ends?
I'm trying to remember.
Well, it ends with her finally getting her vengeance, and she saves the kid.
He tries to have like an evil villain
monologue.
Monologue.
And cuts her, and she cuts him off.
Yeah,
and
just shoots him in the head.
And then she saves the daughter, reunites her with Norman Reedus, and then she goes and is watching like a play. She's watching a play, a ballet play. She's kind of like under wraps. She's kind of watching it from afar. And then the headmaster from her family puts a bounty on her which I'm like, whoa, crazy, interesting, right?
Oh yeah, she leaves the family because she leaves that ballerina thing there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She ends up leaving the
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
Well, we're
yeah.
assuming she left. I think that scene makes me think that she's leaving that family.
Yeah.
Like John Wick did. Or
I get you.
Yeah.
So yeah, she puts the hit out on him, on her. I mean, she receives the text message that she has a bounty
For like what?
on
Wasn't
her.
it 5 million or something?
something like that. And then she sees like the thing that you see in all the John Wick movies, where like a few people in
the
her
crowd.
in her vicinity gets the same texts, and then she realizes, oh, it's time to go. And at first, when I saw this scene, I was like, wait a minute, no fucking way. Has she been declared excommunicado, like John Wick was? But it's like, well, no, because she didn't technically break any rules. She
Yeah.
never killed on continental grounds. That's why they spared her earlier in the
Yeah.
movie. She technically was able to kill the cult leader before midnight, even though I feel like they were very lenient on time.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
They were very lenient on time.
Because when they show the time, it was like, what, 20 something minutes left, I think, until midnight.
I think it was less than that.
No, less than, well,
It was like 13
No,
or some
it-
shit.
no way.
no,
15.
no. So it was like 40 something minutes.
Oh, really?
But here's the thing. No, I'm
was
talking about when John Wick shoots
Yeah.
the
gas
the
container.
gas tank,
Yeah.
and he checks the time. There was 4 minutes left, sir.
Oh, it was even okay. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
4, 1 digit.
Wow.
And so, in the time that it took for the dude, the cult leader guy to pack the car and drive around,
Yeah.
and I was like, this feels like more than 4
Yeah,
minutes.
movies
bro.
do that, man.
Yeah, they
Movies
do that.
So I was like, okay, I have to jump the shark here and like believe
buy
that
it.
it's and buy that it was for less than 4
I
minutes.
think in my head canon, bro, whenever movies do that, I just think like, okay, it says we have 20 minutes left, but it's been 30 or less than that. I just think that what we're
Certain-
seeing is happening at the same time as this
that's
scene. You
that's
know what
how
I
I
mean?
think of
Yeah.
it too.
That's how I think of it all the time.
So, but for me, it's like, well, she didn't technically break any rules per se, so she couldn't be excommunicado. So this could just be a regular bounty, whether
Yeah.
someone wants to go for it or not. It could just be whatever. You know what I mean? So that's how I took it.
yeah.
But that's how it ends, and then she kind of exits from the back door of the
Yeah.
theater, and then that's the last
That's
you see
it,
her
man.
for.
Yeah. No
which
post-credit
sets
scene.
up for no post credit scene, which sets up for potential sequel, potential reappearance in a future project. We'll have to wait and
John Wick
see.
Man.
I don't know.
Could
We'll see.
be John Wick 5.
How
I
the
don't
fuck is he
know.
alive, bro? He.
We'll see, man. We'll see. But I want to talk about something else that made Hav and I laugh because I brought it up to him. Well, I was laughing and we were just joking around, and that's when one of the henchmen of the cult leader was like, "Sir, we have to evacuate the village." And he's like, "What? No leader, blah blah blah, has left in 200 years." What do you mean? It's like, "Yeah, sir, but we lost track of John Wick." And then the next scene is him going inside the car. I was laughing at that. He was like, "Oh shit!" like,
That's funny. Or
fuck
the
out.
guy, I think it was the gun shop dude. Where he was like, "I'm gonna be frank with you," and his name's Frank.
May I be frank?
That was funny.
That was funny.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? It's cool because like a lot of the John Wick movies have little humor
Yeah,
scenes
they
like
do,
that, but they don't
yeah.
overdo it. Like
No, they did it in 4. Remember with the stairs?
Oh my
that shit was
god!
fucking wild, dude. Again,
That was funny.
again, leaning in time.
Uh,
It's like, what time is sunrise? 2, maybe 3 minutes. And it's like, and then they get back all the way up the stairs. That was not more than 3 minutes, bitch.
Yeah,
Like, this happens quite a few times in movies
true.
where it's like,
Yeah.
bro, what?
it's true.
it's funny.
I think it happened in Mission Impossible, actually.
The last one?
Yeah, the one that we just saw, like where the time is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But you know, movies do that, man.
Yeah, I
movies
know.
do that.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I think that's everything, man.
Yep.
I think that's everything for Ballerina, man. Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.
Peace.
See ya.